want to get this show on the road. So my name is Wendy Palmisano. I am a national marketing director with the Juice Plus company. And I am so thrilled that Leanne is going to be doing this training for us, because one of the wonderful things about this company that I love the most is you truly get to be who you are and work in your strengths. So I will tell you right now, numbers are not my strength. And a lot of times it just goes over my head. And I'm so thrilled with the new compensation plan because they made it super easy for me to understand. So I actually do understand it now, and I can actually teach it. But when we get a little bit deeper into the nitty gritty of numbers, which Leanne is fabulous at sharing with us, it just thrills me to know that I have people that can help in that area that I'm not strong in. So, congratulate yourselves, be you, be who you are, shine bright. And today we're going to let Leanne, who is just my fabulous mentor. She's my grandma in the Juice Plus company. But most of all, she's my friend, and I love her to death. And she has the fabulous training for us today on a very simple goal that you can create each month. And I know that you're going to leave here after listening to her just very inspired and very encouraged and ready to go do what she's sharing with us to do today. So Leanne, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Wendy, thank you so much. Wendy is one of the rock star leaders on my team, and I love who she is as a leader, but like she said, the friendship is amazing. So love that. So thank you so much for being on. This is a leadership call. So what that tells me, first of all, is that you love Juice Plus and you're sharing it well. So congratulate yourself for being on this call. So probably QSC and above or close to QSC. And so that's exciting. Definitely, I think we all learn best by repetition. So whether you're a numbers person or not, doesn't matter. I happen to love numbers and I love this business. And so this is fun for me. But if you're not, and even if you are, I think we all learn by repetition. So there's no quiz at the end. So that's good to know right now. And Mitra Ray, if you got to hear, and if you haven't heard this yet, absolutely, I love that it's recorded. That's the benefit of all the virtual events. But our last conference, JP Live, Mitra Ray is the one that wrapped that up for us. And here we have all these healthcare professionals that teach and train and all about nutrition and Juice Plus and the science and all of that. And yet here she is as a healthcare professional wrapping up our conference. And one of the biggest things she said, my takeaway from what she said, was the significance of setting a financial goal. And, so here all weekend we had taken in all these amazing things, and that's really how she wrapped it up. And it's not so much about the financial goal like a number, although you got to start with a number to call it a financial goal, right? But it's really about what would that do for you? What would it do for you to increase your paycheck to whatever that monthly or yearly goal is? And what would that feel like? And we call that your why. And there's really no way to have a meaningful conversation about how to build your paycheck if it isn't first rooted in a deep personal why. So I hope you have that. And that really is a whole different conversation, but something you want to get to, you want to step into, talk that through with your sponsor or your upline. That's the heart of sharing your business story and is really where we're coming from. But once you kind of know what direction you want to go, then how do you get there? So I'm going to share a little bit of my story as we go through this. And I just want to show you what I learned 16 years ago. It is the same today. And yes, we have a new comp plan, so that just makes it simpler. But the principle is exactly the same. And see if it makes sense to you or in the way that it did for me 16 years ago. So when I learned about Juice Plus, I wasn't looking for a business at all. I'd been juicing for forever. I was a food Nazi. I didn't think I could feel any better. It took me a while to get that anything in a capsule could be that amazing. I was slow. But when I finally got it, I fell in love with it. I made my parents eat Juice Plus, and I'm so glad I did. Their mom just turned 80 Dad's about to. It's made such a huge difference for them. Started sharing it with other moms, and it became an incredible gift to them too. And then they were sharing with their friends. And so got started not setting any goals at all, couldn't even spell business, had no guts to even think that way. And I just fell in love with it. So pretty soon I was getting a paycheck that was covering the cost of our family's Juice Plus. Back then I had 4 kids. Today I have 6. In fact, I'm going to share my screen and show you my family. I want you to see a little bit of our story as we go. All right. So right here. Okay. So this is my family today. 2 of my kids are married. And 4 are still sheltering at home with me. And of course, they're all doing distance learning on entirely different systems. So anyway, so I wasn't thinking about a paycheck back then. I didn't have the guts to think that way. I just fell in love with Juice Plus and wanting to share it. So it was covering the cost of our family's Juice Plus. I was like, oh my gosh. The next goal was, or the first goal I set was, could I pay for music lessons? We started the kids at 3. We still do music lessons today. It's a lot of music lessons. And I had quit my job when my oldest, David, who's on the right on my screen, was first born. I quit my job. I wanted to be home. And that meant we were living paycheck to paycheck. And it wasn't long. And then we didn't even have health insurance. So it was a big deal that sharing Juice Plus was so easy to cover the cost for our family. And then it was music lessons. It was could I contribute? Could I help make a difference for our family from home? Fell in love with that. And then my husband's job was falling apart. He was scared to death. And I made that my goal. Could we bring Daddy home? That's what we called it. So at my first conference, about 6 months after sharing Juice Plus, right after that is when I saw what this could be. And I was focused on that, there, going forward from there. But in less than 18 months from seeing this goal, this monthly focus, I made the top level of the comp plan, which is called National Marketing Director. And at that point, it provided health insurance for our entire family. That was a really big deal. It also was enough income that my husband could quit that job and came home, and he did. Amazing. I'd had my 5th baby that first year of sharing Juice Plus. I was homeschooling, home churching, home birthing, always at home, very few friends. But in the midst of that, just sharing Juice Plus with the people I loved, and had seen what could happen just by having that goal. And then I went to my first Elton Awards, and I'm just sharing my story just as an example, but it's not about me. But when I went to my first Elton Awards, when you make 12 Club, which is about the qualifying National Marketing Director level, right there before National Marketing Director, there's a once-a-year black tie dinner event. It's called the Eltons, and it's incredible. And all the leaders are there, and corporate, and dinner, and entertainment, and dancing. That's another story. Anyway, so I went to my first Eltons, had no idea what to expect, didn't even know that they gave awards once a year. And the very first award was called Rookie of the Year, and it was me. And nobody was more surprised than I was. It was an unbelievable moment. And it's because I made this monthly goal my focus. Wendy Campbell teaches it. And so I want to show you what that is. We used to have a different name for it, but Lisa Radizzi, who is Wendy's mom in the business, came up with this name that is perfect because it makes it so easy to know what are we talking about. So we call it a 511. 511. What does 511 mean? If we're going to have this monthly goal, let's break it down. Let's talk about what it means. But I put at the bottom of this slide, if you really want to learn the comp plan and how we get paid and all the beautiful genius details of that, which are fabulous. If that's what you want to learn, I would encourage you to watch Wendy Kimball's new 511 training video. It's the new comp plan, new numbers, same principles otherwise. That's not what I'm going to do today, but that is a fabulous resource. But this is the same concept, totally the same concept. So it's 5 new customers in a month, adding a new partner and helping them get to Partner Plus in their first 30 days or 3 days or whatever. And then helping last month's new Partner Plus finish their QSC. And when you look at that, if you're already a QSC or you're nearly a QSC, number one, you've already done it. You've already added new customers. You've already added a new partner and helped them get to Partner Plus, and you yourself got to QSC. So we're talking about doing something you've already done. And so that's simple, right? Okay, so what does that look like? Now we're going to be talking about paycheck, but obviously promotions and paycheck kind of go together. And in our comp plan, we have promotional PV, which is product volume, and we have paid product volume, which is how you get paid. So up to sales coordinator, we have both. From then on, we only have paid product volume. But what we're talking about here is paid product volume. This is what your paycheck goes by. So if you added 5 new customers, and we're going to talk based in trios, but it doesn't matter if you start with duos and complete and omega and tarragon, whatever, the numbers are going to be about the same. But based on trios, if you added 5 new customers and 1 new partner who had like 3.5 trios, and then the new QSC that had maybe another 10 trios to finish that from last month's, that would be about 1,375 in new product volume. And if you're looking at your PVC report, that'd be column 4 at the bottom. This would be in addition to the number that's already there. That's what that would add in this month. It's June 2nd. It's a brand new month. When you think, what do I want to do this month? And what could happen volume-wise, which takes us closer to the next promotion or the next level, and paycheck-wise. That's what this is about. Okay, so you'd add 1,375 in new PV. What would it add to your paycheck? So if you're a QSC, you're at that 10% commission level. You're going to be getting sales profit on your new customers, which is the same at every level. But then you're going to be getting commission, not only on your new customers, but we get paid commission on our team as well. And again, the details of all that are in Wendy's training video. I'm not going to cover that here, but what else would you be getting? So you'd be getting sales profit and commission on all of those orders. When you help somebody when you got to QSC, you got a $300 bonus, or $400 if it was the come join us, but so did your sponsor, because they're locking arms with you and they're helping you. So now when you help somebody else get to QSC, you're going to be getting that $300 sponsor bonus. So if you're a QSC and you do a 511 this month, June, you are going to be adding about, based on your orders, the $572.50 in addition to your paycheck you already have. How many feel like that would make a significant difference, right? That would make it, for most people, an extra $500, almost $600 would make a significant difference. Well, what if you're a sales coordinator and you're at the top commission level, the 15% commission level, then the sales profit is the same, commission's a little bit higher, so $341 instead of $272. You're still going to be getting that $300 sponsor reward for helping your new partner get to QSC. So then the total is closer to $650 as a raise in 1 month. So 16 years ago, I saw this and I thought, I'm already adding new customers. I'm already adding new partners, and I'm randomly helping them get promoted. What if I just made this my monthly goal? And I started doing this month after month after month. And I want to tell you, I did not get this done every month. In that less than 18 months from when I saw it to when I made National Marketing Director, I didn't get it done every month, but I got it nearly done. In fact, I when I looked back at that, I felt like I got it fully done half the months, but I got some of it done every month because it was my goal. I just kept it simple and said, this is my goal. This is what I'm going to focus on each month. So that's what could happen in June. What if you did it for a year? What if you said, I want to do that every month for a year? So that $1,375 in new PV every month times 12, at the end of the year, you would have added 16,500 in Payline volume, what you get paid on, and you would have that every single month, right? People eat Juice Plus every month. It ships every 4 months. They're paying for it every month, eating it every month, over and over and over. I have customers that started with me 16 years ago. The majority of them are still eating Juice Plus today. It's an incredible thing. So if you added 16,500 in new PV a year from now, right? It's going to add gradually each month by doing the 511 every month. Likely you'd be at senior sales coordinator. And if you're a brand new QSC now, senior sales coordinator is about halfway up the comp plan to national marketing director. It's a big, big jump. And you can see how to get there because it only takes $12,000 a month in PV to get to senior sales coordinator. Okay, and I want to highlight two things, or at least two. So yes, you'd likely be senior sales coordinator. Promotions are going to happen. If you're doing this, you're adding the volume, you're adding the structure. So promotions are going to happen. And yes, you're going to be adding, whether you're a QSC now, more like the $550 a month, or once you make sales coordinator, which is the next promotion level after QSC, about $650 a month every month to your paycheck. That's a big deal. But our comp plan has lots of pieces to it. So you would easily be what we call performance bonus qualified, which we're going to talk about more in a moment. That will eventually be the largest part of your paycheck. So you want to be qualified for that. You got to be a QSC first, and then you're qualified. Then there's POB qualified. Once you make sales coordinator, that's another bonus. Of course, the new promotions all along the way, like sales coordinator, and then QSSC, and then senior sales, and etc. There are title rewards all along the way that we did not have before and are absolutely incredible. BIB is a business investment bonus that they start paying, which is an additional raise once you make QSSC. And then their benefits starting at Q and above. So when we're talking about what would be the raise in your commission and your sales profit each month, that 550 to 650 number, that's just one piece of your paycheck. But it's a significant piece, especially when you're new. But I also want to show you kind of a long-term perspective. So that 3% bonus, that performance bonus to be PB qualified, will eventually be the largest part of your paycheck. If you grow a team, this will eventually be the largest part. And you think 3%, well, 3% sounds like a small number, but 3% of a big number is a big number. And so what would the change in your paycheck be there just in that piece? So 3% of that 16,500 new volume a year from now, you would have given yourself an additional $500 a month raise. How many people do you know that would make a huge difference for? So first I saw what 511 would do in a month. It's like, oh my gosh, I could do that this month. Then I started saying, I want to do that every month. And I did that. But then, what if, because our business is about keeping it simple and teaching others to do what we do. And Jay Martin, our president, always says the number one thing you want to do as a partner, or for a new partner, or if you're feeling stuck, get a new buddy. Get a buddy. Get somebody that is as excited about this as you are and teach them to do what you're doing. So what if you did that? What if you had one other person who saw this, who loved it, who wanted to have options in their life that they haven't had before, and better health, and an incredible community. So you plus one. Or what if you had 3 friends and the 4 of you did it half the months? Either way, the math's going to be the same. Then what happens? So that $1,375 in new PV every month times 2 is $2,750 per month. So when you're looking at what does it take to make those higher levels, and you're looking at the volume required, all of a sudden, to me, it felt much more clear and simple how that would happen by looking at this. So $2,750 a month is going to add up way faster. You do that for a year. What if you plus 1 or you plus 3 half the time do that for a year? And a year's not that long, right? Think back a year ago. Think a year ahead. If you did it for a year, if you want to get there faster, just double the numbers, right? You can get there in half the time. Okay, but if just 2 of you did this for a year, you'd add 33,000 new PV. That would be every single month that you'd be getting paid on. You'd likely be a QNMD if you're like a QSC now. If you're further along, of course, you could be further along. Because to get to qualified national marketing director only requires 24,000 a month in PV. And when you think, how could I get there? This is how you get there. This is how you get there. It's not about, sharing Juice Plus is not about one person doing it all and knowing all those people. It's about sharing with the people you love. And then they fall in love with it. It becomes their story. They share with the people they love. They share with the people they love. It becomes something you couldn't stop if you tried. And everybody's doing a little bit. So what's going to happen? Again, repetition is my easy way to learn, I know. Okay, so whether you're a QSC, maybe $550 a month, sales coordinator and above, like $650 a month in your paycheck, a raise every month just in the sales profit and commission and that sponsor bonus for the new QSC. But then you're going to be PB and POB qualified, the new promotions, the title rewards that go with those, bib benefits, all of that. So let's go back to, let's keep an eye on what is happening to this PB bonus that will eventually be the largest part of your paycheck. So if it were you and one other doing this all year long, and you added that 33,000 new PV, you would have given yourself just in this part of your paycheck $1,000 a month raise by the end of the year. $12,000 raise. Does that sound interesting to anybody? Right? What would you do with that? What would you do? Okay, so what if it's you and team? Now you're sharing it with a handful of people, they're sharing it. That's how we build team. That's how you get to 12 club. You don't have 12 people direct to you that you help qualify. You help 3 and they each help 3 and you're there. So what if it were you plus 3 or you plus 7 half the months? Then what? And as your team grows, to have 3 that love it as much as you do, right? And want to do this is not hard to see. Okay, so that 1,375 times 4 is 5,500 new PV a month times 12, because we're going to do it all year long, is 66,000 new PV. Very likely you'd be a new national marketing director. It takes 48,000 a month over 3 months to get to NMD. Again, we've got all of these different pieces in your paycheck. You're getting that raise in sales profit and commission, all those other pieces. But somewhere along the way, this PV bonus becomes the largest part of your check. And I want to show you what would happen if just you and 3 people were doing this. So if you added 66,000 new pay line volume over the year, you would have given yourself a $2,000 a month raise just in this part of your paycheck, a $24,000 raise. And I want to tell you kind of a fun story and really why I started trying to teach and show my team what I had seen with this 511 is because I have cried over my paycheck many times. I mean, just like cried, happy tears. Like, I didn't know I could earn $500 a month from home. I didn't know I could do that. I didn't know I could retire my husband. I didn't know I could do that and provide health insurance and the full-time income for the 7 of us at that point. At 3 years, this is a business call, a leadership call, so I'm going to share. At 3 years, I was making a 6-figure income. I cried over that. My husband and I together had never made a 6-figure income even before we had kids. It wasn't even our goal. I never imagined that. 6 months later, it was 5 figures a month. And it grew, it's grown and grown from there. So I've cried over my paycheck, like happy tears, and just, deep gratitude over and over and over. But there was a particular day, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, that I laughed over my paycheck. And that's really why I started sharing it this way, first with my leaders. And then I thought, wait a minute, I saw this right from the beginning. And there are other people that would want to share more intentionally if they knew they could and could see this. So that's why I think anybody that wants to see this, to be able to see it is amazing. So, but here's what happened that made me laugh. So I was driving and my tax accountant called me, and we don't talk by phone hardly ever. We do almost all email. So for him to call me unexpectedly was very strange. And the only reason he called to say, Leanne, you earned $60,000 more last year than the year before. You gave yourself a $5,000 a month raise. And he was celebrating that with me. He was just so excited for me. And I laughed, number one, because I already knew that. I am a numbers girl. And number two, the first thing I said was, I know, I did that last year too. That's amazing. That's amazing. And from there, I had shared that phone conversation with some of my NMDs. And what do you think they said? They said, how can I do that? Because they were already at the national marketing director level. They already had a significant paycheck. They'd already fallen in love with this and seen that, right? You can do it. And then what would it take to raise your paycheck $5,000 a month? And so I want to tell you what it would take. Doing 511, you plus 9. You plus 9. If there were 10 of you doing this every month, no matter what level of the business you're in right now, from the beginning all the way up, or if there were 20 of you doing it half the months, just in this 3% bonus alone, not counting all the other pieces of your paycheck, you would give yourself a $60,000 a year raise. Does that sound amazing? I saw that, I got that, I did that, and I taught other people to do that wanted to. And we always say you're a blessing whether you share a little or a lot, and we mean that. I love that. Totally up to you. But if you're wanting to grow your paycheck on purpose, or maybe there are people on your team that you care as much or more about their paycheck as you do about your own, and I would encourage you to do that. That is a beautiful thing. Then it really is this simple. It really is this simple. So I want to share kind of how I did this. Kurt Beavers talks about making every month count. So once you see the picture, then what do you do to take action and make it happen? So making every month count, he talks about starting the month strong and finishing the month strong. And what does starting the month strong look like? To me, it's about having a plan. So every month, and I am a paper girl. I still have a paper calendar. I'm not high tech at all. But if you like really cute and organized, there are adorable 511 trackers in color and all kinds of stuff that you can print on campbellteam.net or Mission Driven Model. But I didn't do that. I just took a blank piece of paper, and at the beginning of every month, I wrote the name of the month. It's June 2nd. What if you took a piece of paper and you wrote June on it and you made this your plan? What if you tried this just this month and you said, okay, at the beginning of the month, I would pencil in, who do I think my new customers could be? Who do I think they could be? Who am I already talking to? Or who have I been wanting to talk to? Or who do I want to invite to the next event? Who could those new customers be? Who could my new partner be? And of course, if I'm going to sign them up as a new partner, my desire and hope is to help them get to Partner Plus in that first 30 days or less. Or maybe it's just better to be a customer until they fall in love with it and want to share it with somebody outside their family. So who's my new partner going to be that I can help get to Partner Plus? And who in the last month or two made Partner Plus, or several months or whatever, who is a Partner Plus that I could help finish their QSC this month? And I made that my plan. And I would encourage you, make a plan, write it down. We know written goals are way more effective than just spoken goals. Share it. That's how to increase the odds of doing it even more. Write it down and then share it. Share it with your upline or your sponsor and say, this is what I'm going to do. And whether you get it completely done or not, doesn't really matter, right? We're going to get more done by having that focus. Maybe this month we'll get 3 customers, next month we'll get 8. Doesn't matter, right? But really having that as the goal. And then I would encourage you to celebrate it. Every month, whether we had a big month, personally or as a team, or a small month, or whether it was a promotion or not, at the end of every month, we would just talk about I would share with my family, kids don't really go long-term goals, right? Short-term goals. Mom's doing this so that we can do what as a family? And for a long time, it was our goal to bring daddy home. Then it was to be able to travel. I'll show that to you in just a minute. We've had all kinds of fun goals, but whether it was a big month or a small month, I was sharing how many new customers I got, how many new partners, new promotions, how much our team had done, and just celebrating how many more families were getting healthy every month because our team was sharing their story and caring about people well. So make every month count. David Beaver says consistency creates miracles. And I don't know any area of my life that's actually not true. I think it's true in so many ways, but particularly in our business, keeping it simple and staying consistent will create miracles bigger than you can probably even think, let alone imagine. And one of the things that I hope this conversation does today, I hope it gives you permission to dream. I hope it makes you think, what if I grew my paycheck $500 a month or $1,000 a month? Or what if I could pay for music lessons? Or what if I could pay for a family trip? Or whatever it is you want to do. I wasn't dreaming at all to begin with. It takes guts to dream. And I think it also takes being able to see, well, how could that happen? If we think it can't possibly happen, it's way harder to dream, right? So I hope this gives you permission to dream a little bit too, and then keep it simple and be consistent. So here's a personal question. What would feel like a miracle to you? What would you dream about? What would you want? What would it feel like to be able to do because you're sharing Juice Plus and you're growing your paycheck? What would feel like a miracle to you? I shared in my story what felt like an unbelievable miracle to me financially. And if we fast forward on that story a little bit, about 9 years ago, my world completely fell apart. And I fell in love with this business at a whole new level when it saved us. I had my 6th baby. She was 18 months old. And all of a sudden, I didn't see this coming. I was a single mom with 6 kids. And I totally believe that God gave me this business before I ever knew I needed it. And as much chaos as there was everywhere else because of that, I wasn't vulnerable financially. This business and this community, I fell in love with even more right then. This business has been a miracle to me in so many ways financially. I'm still a single mom, and 2 kids are married, but 4 are still sheltering at home. So it's, it's a lot. And I'm so thrilled that I can do it and that I can be generous and I can do things I never imagined doing, and have all kinds of options. But I want to share on the personal side, another side of the miracle that this business has been for me. So 16 years ago, you would not have picked me to be this successful business woman. And, I didn't have any goals. I couldn't even imagine it. And I think sometimes we look around at others and we see them and we think, oh my gosh, they're amazing, or they're so whatever. And we tend to think they're so amazing and we're not. And we tend to compare and we tend to think, well, of course they can do it. Look at them, but I can't do it. And so I have recently started sharing, I'm going to be brave, and I'm going to show you a picture of me 16 years ago, because you would not have picked me either. So obviously this is me. This is the ages of my kids back then. I was hiding. I was shut down. I am on the introvert side, but I was very much on the introverted side then. Very few friends. And I live an hour from the beach. I didn't own anything that looked like a bathing suit. And I was not a business-minded woman at all. I wasn't comfortable in my own skin. No confidence, no guts. I didn't have permission to dream or anything else. So I just fell in love with Juice Plus. And I just started sharing it with the people around me. And I told you we got to travel some as a family. It wasn't long. And our dream, after we said, could we bring Daddy home? And we did that. Then we said we wanted to travel as a family. So we bought the oldest, most awful 1979 Greyhound bus. And then we spent a whole bunch of money. Lisa and Bobby Paget's brother-in-law, Fred Reeves, converted it, made it amazing, had bunk beds. We traveled as a family, created some incredible memories. This was an amazing thing. But along the way, not only was I growing a paycheck, not only was I growing a team, I was growing me. I was becoming more and more, I believe, who God made me to be. And after the divorce, I finally started learning about self-care. This community is inspiring, and I had the paycheck to invest in me, in counseling, and in learning to do things that would be good for me. We can't pour from an empty cup. I didn't know that before. What I thought was selfish was really self-care. And one of the things I started doing, because the leader on our team had drugged me on the dance floor, it felt like, at the Eltons, and they were so happy to be there, and I was so unhappy to be there, and I never wanted to feel that way again. So I left there and I took one free Arthur Murray ballroom dance lesson, and that led to 5 years of private lessons. And when I look at these pictures and think about that season, I was learning to dance in the most painful chapter of my life. What an unexpected, incredible gift. And I was getting more comfortable, and this business, the miracle of this business growing me, is way part of the story for me. And does it mean I've arrived? No, I still make mistakes, absolutely. But letting go and moving forward and learning and growing and becoming and being grounded in being loved no matter what changes everything. So that's a little bit of my story. And I want to share just this last story of that piece of, yes, there's the miracle of so many families' lives are eating Juice Plus, more and more and more every single month. So many are growing their own food. So many are creating income. I can support my own family, all of those things. And then it's about, where was I and who was I 16 years ago, and where am I today? So Josiah is obviously the one in this picture. And he's my youngest son. He's 18. He just finished all the graduation requirements for high school last week. I don't know if there'll be a graduation, but he's done. I'm so proud of him. And just a few weeks ago, he said something to me that I hope I never, ever forget. And of course, this was a really late night conversation, because that's when you have the best conversations with teenagers, right? And a teenage boy can say things in a way nobody else can. So here's what he said. He said, "Mom, you're really not the smartest." Okay. And he said, "And you're not the richest," which, of course, he doesn't really know. He doesn't really have a context, but that's okay. That's okay, right? He gets that I'm really grateful. But here's what he said that hopefully I'll always remember. He said, "Mom, you're in the top 1% of the happiest." And I think he's right. If deep, deep gratitude is kind of the heart of happiness, it's an amazing gift, totally an amazing gift. And it's because, oh, wait. I think there's one more slide. Wait, did I do that right? No, I didn't. So you don't have to be perfect at all. You don't have to be perfect at all. I got to share the screen. I think there's one more slide that I added. Sorry about that. Okay, so I was thinking about his story. All right. So what would feel like a miracle to you? How much of a raise do you want? Why do you want it? What would that do for you? How would it make you feel? Consistency creates miracles. Make every month count. Keep it simple, have a goal, have a plan, share it, celebrate it, and watch what happens. So that's what I wanted to share.
Leanne, thank you for sharing you with us and getting personal and vulnerable and real and letting us see those pictures from before, because I think you're right. A lot of us look at you and we're like, wow, like I could never be like you. But you showed us that piece of who you started off as and all the personal growth that's happened. And oh my gosh, I'm so inspired every time I'm with you. And I just thank you so much. And thank you for painting that beautiful picture of possibilities that we have in this company with such a super simple plan. So 511, like, wow, like I can understand 511, even I can do that. And so, let's start with that plan. I love your question. What would feel like a miracle to you? That is amazing. And I want each and every person on this call to answer that question. Yeah. What would feel like a miracle to you? Because I second you, like this business has been a miracle to me as well in so many ways. So thank you very, very much. Great training. I've heard it a few times and I love it every time.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you all for getting on. Thank you, Wendy. I love sharing this.
Yep. Thank you all.
Thank you, Leanne.